Imagine trying to sleep, but you can't fully stretch your legs. Imagine trying to get ready for work, but you have to drive 20 minutes just to find a shower. Now, imagine doing this every single day, knowing your only home is a car that could be ticketed or towed at any moment. This isn't a worst-case scenario, it is the quiet, daily reality for thousands of hardworking people across America. We have already explored how the housing crisis is pushing so many out of their homes and into their vehicles, but today, we are going past the headlines to look at the raw, unfiltered truth of what it's actually like to live inside a car. We're going to walk through the reality of survival, how painful it is to wake up every morning with body aches from a cramped back seat, the massive effort it takes to cook a single meal without a kitchen, and the daily battle just to stay clean. We'll also talk about the constant, underlying stress of trying to find a safe place to park for the night without being bothered. This is the truth about what it really takes to survive when you don't have a roof over your head, in an economy that is making life harder for everyone. But don't just take my word for it. To understand what this life really looks like, you have to hear it from the people living it right now. I've put together a few personal accounts from individuals across America who are currently turning their vehicles into their living rooms. As you watch these, pay attention to the small, everyday details, the things most people never think about until they have no choice but to face them.
So van life is definitely not easy. Here are some of the hardest things that I have to deal with living on the road. Number one is not being able to stand up, and of course you can get a van that you can stand up in, but I did not. Second are just like little luxuries, like my sink faucet sucks, to say the least. I don't even use it. I have no solar on my roof, so I only have to use a Jackery, which means I cannot power a whole lot of things, and I cannot have a fridge. And then we have making money. That can be very challenging living on the road. I've worked so many different jobs, it's kind of ridiculous. I've done a lot of side work jobs, making money online, like Instacarting, DoorDash, stuff like that. Typically I like to serve or do massage therapy, which is what I went to school for, but yeah, it can be kind of tricky finding work on the road. And lastly, we have dealing with your own waste while living in a van. It's probably everyone's least favorite thing, but unfortunately it has to be done.
Surprisingly, the worst thing about living in your car and having to deal with is the temperature. That took me by surprise. In winter, it gets too fucking cold. You roll windows up, it gets too humid. And obviously, it's fucking summer right now. Bro, you can see me sweating at the moment. I wasn't this red 10 minutes ago. It is hot as shit out, dude. You're just constantly fucking sticky and sweaty. Shit's gross. It's like, yeah, there's like a lack of room. You don't have room for any of your shit. You can't stretch out. But it's like, bro, the heat's the worst part. If you are ever in the boat of having to live in your car, like, you need to be mentally prepared of just being fucking miserable from the temperature.
I really debated making this post or not, but I am so burnt out from living in a van. Today I'm gonna de-influence you. These are the things that are genuinely so on my nerves. If I have to do one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. Starting off strong is finding a place to sleep every night. Security guards will knock on your van in the middle of the night and tell you that you have to move, or like last night, they'll just give you a ticket. I have to find a new place to sleep tonight. The second one is that everything just takes way longer than it should. I have to drive to a gym to shower. The closest gym to me right now is 20 minutes away. For me to go shower, that takes me an hour. If I want to do laundry, I can't just like throw in my laundry and then go for a run. I have to go to the laundromat. I have to sit and wait for it to be done. Number 3, and this is one that didn't start to bother me until this year, and that is that my van is never the right temperature. I do not have AC, and I would say my heater is like broken half the time. Like yesterday, I went to shower and then I went to the grocery store and I came back and I'm putting my groceries away and I'm dripping sweat after I just spent an hour going to shower. Like, I can't just comfortably hang out in my space. Like, I have to go somewhere else, or I have to spend my time outside. Even if I just want to like cuddle up in bed and read my book, like, I can't do it because it's unbearably hot in here. Or in the winter, like if my heater breaks while I'm skiing or whatever, unbearably cold, and it's so hard for me to get out of bed in the morning. Number 4 is that I don't have unlimited of my basic amenities. My power comes from solar or from driving. Right now it's gloomy outside and I didn't have plans to drive a ton of places today, so I have to be really careful with my power usage. I have to check my battery monitor in the morning before I want to make a smoothie to see if I have enough power to do that. The same goes for water. I have to fill up my water tank probably about once every week and a half. Finding somewhere to do that can be difficult. And then I'm constantly rationing my water all week, like trying to use as little as possible for my dishes or whatever. That's why I hate cleaning my sink so much. Sorry, now I'm getting on a tangent. And same with like my toilet. I have to dump my pee jug pretty much every other day. And if my pee jug is full and I don't have a place to dump it and I really have to pee, that becomes a very uncomfortable situation, as I'm sure you can imagine. And last but certainly not least is the lack of routine. Constantly in a new place, with new surroundings, with access to different things. My whole whole life changes as my location changes. At first, that's really fun. That's like the whole draw of van life. As you do it for longer and longer and longer, you get to a point where you crave that routine and it's really hard to find. All this being said, I think that it's really getting to me because the plans that I have for the next year, I basically have to be on the road. And so the earliest that I could even think about getting an apartment is next November, which I'm definitely highly considering. I would still keep my van and like travel part-time in it. I just would not be on the road full-time. Been debating coming on here and talking about it because no one wants to listen to like a complainer and like a negative Nelly, and I do really love my life and I'm so lucky to live it. But I also don't want to come on here and act like everything is perfect all the time and I'm so happy and everyone should do this and there's no negatives. Talking to a lot of friends that have been on the road for a similar amount of time to me, and we're all kind of approaching this place. I didn't really think that I would get here, which is why like I have my whole next year planned out. I'm like, I love living on the road, blah blah blah, planning all this stuff far in advance, and now I'm like, oh my god, I need a break.
I have lived in my car for about 7 months now, and here are 3 of the hardest things about living in a car. In my opinion, the absolute hardest thing is not having access to a bathroom 24/7. I keep myself hydrated. So, yeah. Number 2 is having to lug all of my get ready stuff into the gym with me every morning to shower. And number 3 is finding a parking spot. Sometimes it's super easy, but other times it's super hard. It just really depends on the area and how well I know it and if I've been there before. I've lived in my car for about 9 months now, and I absolutely love this question, so let's talk about it. Of course, there is the obvious one that I don't have to spend money on rent. That is literally so nice, especially in this economy. And then another favorite reason of mine is that I am way more productive while living in my car than I was when I lived in my apartment. It's so much easier to want to get out and do stuff when you have such a small space to live in. Another favorite reason of mine is that I don't have to pack when I'm going on a road trip. I already have everything with me. Of course, even though there are some amazing things about car life, there are some not so amazing things about it. Food can be really challenging. Recently, I got a propane stove which I cannot shut up about, and that has definitely made a huge difference in my quality of food. I also have a car fridge, which I love so much, but even with those 2 things, food is still a lot more challenging than it was when I lived in an apartment. Number 2 is bathrooms. Not having a bathroom all the time is definitely challenging. And of course, finding a place to park is a bit difficult. I personally love to find places where I can blend in with other cars, or designated campgrounds. I also love those, or just places in the middle of nowhere where no one's gonna come across me. But thank you for asking this. This is a great question, and if you have any more questions, comment down below.
What you just heard wasn't just a collection of complaints. It was a clear look at how the freedom of life on the road often masks a desperate struggle for survival. Whether these people chose this life or were pushed into it by an economy that made rent unaffordable, the reality is the same. The basic necessities of human life, things we take for granted, become full-time jobs. When you listen to these experiences, a few major themes stand out. First is the loss of physical comfort. We're talking about people who cannot stand up in their own homes, who deal with chronic back pain from cramped sleeping quarters, and who are at the mercy of the weather. When your home is a metal box, you are either freezing in the winter or suffocating in the heat. It is a state of constant physical misery that prevents the body from ever truly resting. Then, look at the logistics of basic hygiene and nutrition. In an apartment, you have a shower, a sink, and a fridge. In a car, these become complex operations. You have to plan your day around finding a gym to shower in, or rationing your water just to do the dishes. Even cooking a meal is a constant stress. You're managing propane stoves, fighting odors in a tiny space, and worrying about power usage just to keep food from spoiling. Every simple task takes an hour of planning, leaving no time to actually relax. But perhaps the most exhausting part is the lack of security. There is no home when you are constantly looking over your shoulder. Whether it's security guards knocking on your window in the middle of the night, the fear of receiving a parking ticket, or the mental fatigue of having to move to a new location every single day, this is not a life of freedom. It is a life of displacement. The people you heard from are clearly exhausted. They are tired of the lack of routine, the constant rationing of their own lives, and the burning need for the stability that a simple four-walled apartment provides. This isn't a travel trend or a glamorous adventure for everyone. For a growing number of Americans, it is the only way they can afford to keep working. It shows that even for those who are making it work, the price they pay is their dignity, their mental health, and their physical well-being. It is a sobering reminder that when the cost of living outpaces the ability to earn, the definition of home changes, and not for the better. At the end of the day, the struggle of living in a car isn't just about the lack of space or the inconvenience, it's about what we, as a society, have come to accept as normal. No one should have to choose between a roof over their head and the ability to work, yet for thousands across America, that is the reality they wake up to every single day. These stories are a reminder that behind every economic statistic is a person trying to keep their dignity while the world around them becomes increasingly difficult to afford. We'll keep tracking these realities on this channel, because these are the conversations we need to be having. If this video helped you see the world a little differently today, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for our next deep dive. Thanks for watching.